Hi everyone, this is Smruti. Welcome to QA automation classes. Hope you guys are doing good. So today we are going to learn a new topic, that is how to access your private repositories that you have created in your GitHub, right? So if you see, so I have 17 repositories, right? And I am logged into the system now, GitHub, right? So but if you see, there are only few 4 or 5 repositories which are public, okay? And there are, see, this is a public repository, right? This is a private repository, okay? So similarly, if you see, I have lot of private projects, right? And let's say this is one of the project, okay? Rest assured with the cucumber, okay? This I have done in the March 18 2028 2021, okay? So this is one of a private project that I have in my GitHub, but it is not public. But I want to run this from my Jenkins, right? I want to build it from the Jenkins. So how can I do that, right? If I try to give this location or the URL in the Jenkins and try to access it, it will give me error because private repositories you cannot access it, right? Outside the GitHub, you have to log in, right? When you give your login credential only, then only you should be able to access the private repositories, right? So we'll try to see that how can we create those credentials, right? And how can we pass those credential in the Jenkins and access one of our private project that is in our private repository, okay? So let's log into Jenkins. Okay, I'm already logged into the Jenkins. Let's go to dashboard. Okay, fine. So now I don't have any job scheduled for that private project, right? Or the private repository project. I don't have any job created, so we'll be creating one job for that. So before that, we need to get the token, right? How the authentication will work, right? So we have to go to the GitHub, and from here we have to generate one token, and that token we have to pass to the Jenkins while connecting or accessing this particular project, private repository project, right? So how to do that? So for that, go to GitHub, then where is the settings? Let's go to the settings. Okay, settings, and let's say developer settings. Okay, and here you can see personal access tokens. Okay, so there are two types of the token. One is the token classics, another one is the fine grained tokens, right? So what's the difference between them, right? So we can select the this one, right? The classic token, right? And the fine grained token, right? um, Fine grained token can be used specific to a project, right? And the classic token can be used for the whole GitHub, right? So now we are going to create the classic token. So click on classic token. Okay, so after clicking on the classic token, we have to generate the new token, right? So here you can see one option is there. So this is the personal access token classic, right? So it is saying tokens you have generated that can be used to access the GitHub API. Okay, so we have already one token active here, classic token 1. Okay, so June 2024. Okay, this is already expired. Okay, fine, I'll create a new token. Okay, so let's click on the generate new token drop down, and here you will see two, right? One is the generate new token classic, generate new token. This is a fine grained. So we are not going to fine grade. This is repository scoped. Okay, this is general use throughout the GitHub. So we'll create the classic token. So click on the generate new token classic. Okay, so now it will ask you to give something. Okay, so note, you can give anything like classic token 2. Let's say classic token 2. Let's say, I'll say, okay, let's expire it within the 7 days. Okay, so select scope. So you have to select the scope, what and the scope you want. Okay, so yeah, repo access I'll give, workflow access, right? Let's give everything. I don't have any uses. So you can see whatever the access you want to give, right? So you give those access. Delete repo, no delete repo. In copilot project code space, yeah, you can give whatever the access you want. Okay, so I'm kind of giving everything here. Okay, and classic token, okay, right? Delete packages, I'll disable it, and writing is fine. Okay, fine. Okay, looks good. Okay, fine. So now I can say generate token. Okay, so when I say generate token, the token has been generated. Okay, so one token is generated. So I will copy this token. Okay, and let's save it somewhere. Okay, let's say just copying the token for time being. Okay, so now our token generation is successful, right? So after token is generated, okay, so we have to go to the Jenkins and configure this token. Okay, and let's go to the settings, not settings, let's go to the home here, and let's see smoothie state, let's see how many projects are there, repositories. So which one we are going to create for the rest assured framework, right? There was one rest assured demo for 2021. Okay, this is the one. Okay, rest assured with Cucumber 2021. Okay, so now let's go to the Jenkins and we'll create a new item. Okay, so let's create a Maven project. Okay, and I'll say, let's copy the name. I'll just say 21. Okay, and Maven project. Okay, it's taking time to create the project. Okay, fine. So let it create this job, and then we have to give the repository URL. So what is the repository URL? Open this one, go to the GitHub, open this one, and then from here we can get the URL, right? So copy and then go and give the repository URL here in the source code management. Okay, so this is Git. Okay, repository URL. Okay, fine. So now what it is saying, okay, so now after some time it is trying to connect to this repository URL Git, right? And it is saying failed to connect to the repository. Why it is failing? So command git.exe lsa remote h, this is the command it is trying to access, but it is returning a status code of 128. Okay, so what exactly is 128 error, right? And it is giving the date. So return status code 128 means the Jenkins is unable to connect to the GitHub with proper credential. So now we have to add the credentials. Unless and until you add the credential, you will not be able to access it. So how to do that? So scroll down, there you can see credentials, none, right? So there is a add button. Click on add, click on Jenkins credential provider. Okay, so when you click on the Jenkins credential provider, so first you will see what kind of the credential we need. So we are going to give the username and password. So what is the scope? Right, scope is the global Jenkins. Okay, and we have to give the username and we have to give the password. So what is your username? So my username is smrutisdet. Okay, so that is my username. And then what is the password? So password is not as password is something that we have already generated that token, right? So I have copied it somewhere. So let's copy this one. Okay, and then give it as the password. Okay, and check out treat username as secret. Okay, so okay, so let's scroll down. You have given the username and password, then ID and description you can give. Okay, so we can give let's say this is a classic token 2. Okay, to give some description, uh, classic token 2 for GitHub. Okay, so now you click on add. Okay, so now after adding, so we have to again go to the credentials, right? So here also we are still seeing that error 128. So now go to the credentials and you can see classic token 2 for GitHub. So select that one. So after selecting that one, you will see so now after selecting this classic token 2 for GitHub, so you see the error is gone now, right? There is no error now. So now the your Jenkins is able to access the private repository that was there in the GitHub, right, through this token that has been generated, right? And now what we are going to do, so again we'll give the what is that, go to the steps, build, trigger. No, we're not triggering, build environment, pre-step, build. Okay, so pom.xml, root pom is pom.xml, and give the goal. The goal is clean test. Okay, let's give the clean and test as the goal, and then we can save. Okay, so apply, save. Okay, so this is a very old project. I don't know if it will run or not, but we can try running it. Okay, so main intention is to see whether we are able to connect to that repository and if we are able to trigger the build, right? Since it's a very old project, the dependency has been out of the they are not in sync with the recent dependencies and all. But let's see, let's try to run, let's see if it is getting invoked or not. Okay, so let's click on the build now. Okay, if the build is getting created, yes, so you see the build is getting created. Okay, so if you go to console output, it is trying to see rest assured with the cucumber.git, it is cloning this repository, and then it will start executing. So here you can see, right, discovered a new module demo, rest assured cucumber, rest assured modules changed, recalculating dependency graph, and established the TCP socket on 51035. So it is able to connect. So now it is downloading all those whatever you say dependencies, it is downloading, and then it will start running. I don't think it will run, it's a very old code, there is no maintenance on it. So but yeah, if it gives error also, it is fine, right? We just need to see the how we are able to access. So if you have any project, right, in your GitHub, right, and those are private, right, so private you will see because it is locked, right? So those private also you can create the personal access token, right, and then give that personal access token through the Jenkins credential provider, right? When you add those credential over there, then you will be able to run those private repository jobs from the Jenkins, right? So yeah, it is giving compilation error, but yeah, it is like kind of connecting and it is trying to run it. Okay, so it is like any other job, you can now run it. And you have seen, like, I have generated this one for the 7 days, right, the token for 7 days. After 7 days, this job is going to fail. Okay, so make sure if you want to run it,